A bright, sun-drenched morning. Crowds line the streets, cheering as the presidential motorcade glides toward Dealey Plaza. Smiles are wide, spirits high. No one knows this route will become etched into history not for a victory, but for a tragedy that would shatter America's innocence forever. The clock ticks toward 12:30 p.m. The atmosphere is still warm, electric with anticipation. Then suddenly, sharply the sound of gunfire cracks through the air. 3 shots ring out, echoing off concrete and steel. Chaos erupts instantly. Secret Service agents lunge toward the car. Panic floods the crowd. In seconds, hope turns to horror. The president is struck. Within minutes, John F. Kennedy is rushed to Parkland Memorial Hospital. Doctors fight desperately, but the wounds are catastrophic. At 1 p.m., the official announcement is made. President Kennedy is dead. The youngest elected president in U.S. history, gone in the blink of an eye. And before the dust even settles, the questions begin. Who pulled the trigger? And more importantly, was he alone? Less than 2 hours later, police arrest Lee Harvey Oswald, a former Marine, a defector, a man with a murky past. He is charged with the murder of Officer J.D. Tippit, and soon after, with killing the president. Authorities present him as the lone gunman, isolated, disgruntled individual, acting out alone. But the public's doubt is already growing. Too many details feel off. 2 days pass. Millions watch live television as Oswald is being transferred from the city jail. Suddenly, a man steps forward and fires a single shot. Oswald falls, fatally wounded. The shooter is identified as Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner with ties to local law enforcement. He claims he acted out of grief for Jackie Kennedy, but his act destroys the only chance to ask Oswald, why? 1 week later, President Lyndon B. Johnson establishes the Warren Commission, led by Chief Justice Earl Warren. Its mission: investigate the assassination fully and finally. For 10 months, they gather testimony, examine evidence, and reconstruct every moment. The nation waits, holding its breath, desperate for clarity, for closure, for the truth. What they get is only the beginning of the mystery. September 1964. The report is released. Its conclusion is definitive. Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. He fired 3 shots from the 6th floor of the Texas School Book Depository. 1 bullet missed, 1 struck Kennedy and Governor Connally. The fatal shot hit the head. There was, the report states, no conspiracy, domestic or foreign. Case closed, or so they say. But almost immediately, cracks appear. Critics point to the single bullet theory, the idea that 1 bullet caused 7 wounds in 2 men, yet emerged nearly intact. It seems physically impossible. Witnesses recall shots coming from different directions. Photographs show shadows, shapes, figures no one can explain. The official story feels less like truth, more like a puzzle forced together. Enter the first great theory. The CIA connection. At the time, tensions were high. The Bay of Pigs invasion had failed miserably. Kennedy had refused to authorize full military support, leaving CIA operatives stranded. Many inside the agency blamed him. Did powerful figures decide he had to be removed? Did they orchestrate the perfect crime, then bury the evidence forever? Witnesses speak of strange activity. Men posing as agents, unmarked cars. Radio communications that don't match official records. Some claim that Oswald was not a lone fanatic, but upon a patsy set up in advance to take the fall. If true, it means the very people sworn to protect the nation were the ones who plotted its leader's death. A chilling thought. Next, the Cuban link. Fidel Castro had every reason to want Kennedy dead. The U.S. had tried to assassinate him multiple times. Could he have struck back first? Or perhaps anti-Castro groups, furious at Kennedy for not overthrowing the regime, decided to take matters into their own hands. Either way, foreign soil seems to bleed into this dark, domestic day. Evidence suggests Oswald had contact with Cuban sympathizers, his travels, his associations. His vague political alliances, they paint a picture of a man tangled in dangerous international webs. But were these connections enough to trigger a presidential murder? Or are they just coincidences strung together by a public desperate for answers that make sense of the pain? Then there's the Mafia theory. Organized crime had deep ties to unions, politics, and intelligence operations. They helped Kennedy win the election in 1960. Yet, once in office, his brother Robert Attorney General declared war on the mob. Prosecutions skyrocketed. Did the syndicate decide to cut the head off the snake? Jack Ruby's underworld links add fuel to this fire. Ruby knew mob associates. He ran clubs where criminals gathered. He was seen meeting with shady figures in the weeks before November 22nd. Killing Oswald wasn't grief. Critics say it was a cleanup job. Silence the shooter, erase the trail. If the mob was involved, it meant corruption ran from the back alleys all the way to the White House steps. What about the military-industrial complex? Ain't a farewell address, Eisenhower warned of its immense power. Kennedy wanted to pull back from Vietnam to limit defense spending, to curb the influence of arms manufacturers. Did powerful interests fear losing billions in war profits? Did they view peace as a threat that had to be eliminated? Strange orders were issued that day. Standard security protocols were altered. The motorcade route was changed at the last minute, bringing it directly past the book depository. Secret Service positions were shifted, coverage reduced. Were these mistakes or deliberate choices? It looks less like negligence and more like an opening, carefully crafted to ensure a clear line of fire. Witness testimony deepens the fog. Over 50 people report hearing shots come from the grassy knoll a small hill forward and to the right of the car. Shots came from there. Oswald could not have acted alone. Some saw smoke. Others saw a man fleeing. Yet the Warren Commission dismissed these accounts, calling them confused or mistaken. Why ignore so many voices? The Zapruder film, the only full color footage of the event, tells its own story. Frame by frame, it captures the horror. Most notably, the president's head snaps backward and to the left upon impact. Too many. This proves the fatal shot came from the front, not behind. Official experts argue it's a neuromuscular reaction. But physics, to many viewers, tells a different tale entirely. Autopsy results remain contested. Doctors at Parkland described wounds that didn't match later official diagrams. They saw an entry wound in the throat, consistent with a shot from the front. Later, military pathologists produced conflicting reports. Photographs and X-rays were locked away, classified for decades. Who altered the records, and why? The shadow of Lyndon B. Johnson. He stood to gain the most from Kennedy's death. They were political enemies, fighting over power, policy, and corruption scandals. His associates had deep connections to oil, defense, and organized crime. Rumors circulated for years. Did the vice president mastermind the coup? No hard proof exists, but the motive is undeniable. Strange deaths pile up in the years following. Dozens of people connected to the case die under suspicious circumstances: suicides, accidents, heart attacks, murders, witnesses, investigators, reporters, associates. Statistically, the odds of this happening naturally are close to zero. It feels like a systematic erasure, silencing anyone who might know too much. The House Select Committee on Assassinations re-examines the case in 1979. They agree. Oswald fired the shots. But their final conclusion differs drastically from the Warren report. Based on acoustic evidence, they state, scientific evidence indicates a high probability that two gunmen fired. A conspiracy officially acknowledged. Yet they never name who or why. The door opens wider. then slams shut again. What about the Umbrella Man? In the films, one man stands calmly on Elm Street holding a black umbrella on a cloudless sunny day. He opens it as the car approaches. Was it a signal? A weapon? Years later, he came forward with a harmless explanation, but for decades. He was the ultimate symbol of hidden communication, a silent actor in a deadly play. Disappearing evidence, the original bullet fragments. The car itself, clothing, notes, and transcripts, many items were destroyed, lost, or altered. Key documents remain classified until 2029. Why keep secrets for over 60 years? If the truth is innocent, why bury it? Every locked cabinet fuels the suspicion that something dark is being hidden. Oswald, patsy or player? He claimed, "I'm just a patsy." He had no money, no clear plan, and poor marksmanship records. Yet he managed to escape, kill a police officer, and get captured near a theater. Was he following orders? Was he set up to fail? Or was he exactly what they said? Desperate man, craving history's spotlight. Jack Ruby's story unravels in prison. He told investigators, "I have been used." He hinted at a vast plot, saying he couldn't reveal details because it involves government agencies. He died of cancer in 1967, taking his secrets to the grave. Was his sudden illness natural? Or was it one final, efficient silencing? International intrigue, declassified files reveal that Soviet leaders believed the assassination was a right-wing plot. The KGB suspected the CIA. Foreign observers saw it as a coup d'etat. To the rest of the world, America's greatest tragedy didn't look like a lone act of violence. It looked like the collapse of order from within. The missing time between the shooting and the arrival at the hospital, and between the arrest and the interrogation, minutes and hours are unaccounted for. Statements were taken, then rewritten, timelines adjusted. Small gaps, seemingly insignificant. But together, they create a space where anything could have happened, or been changed, or hidden forever. Ballistics confusion. Bullets fired from Oswald's rifle were tested. Some fragments matched, others did not. Chain of custody records are incomplete. Experts disagree on which bullet came from which gun. The science, meant to be absolute, becomes muddied and uncertain. Even hard evidence feels soft, pliable, shaped by whoever holds it. The grassy knoll witnesses, Jean Hill, known as the Lady in Red, stood feet away. She heard shots from behind the fence. She saw men running. She told her story consistently for 40 years. The government dismissed her. But too many, she is the voice of truth, drowned out by powerful forces determined to make her words disappear. Motives multiply endlessly. Was it because Kennedy wanted to end the Federal Reserve? Was it a Vatican plot? Israeli intelligence? Even UFO researchers claim he was killed for wanting to disclose alien secrets. The theories spiral outward, becoming wilder, stranger, harder to dismiss entirely, harder ever to prove. The web grows too large to untangle. Technology offers no answers. Modern forensics, computer modeling, 3D reconstructions, none have settled the debate. Some analyses support the lone gunman. Others confirm a second shooter. Every new study only deepens the divide. We have more data than ever, yet we seem further from the truth than we were on that dark afternoon. The human cost of doubt for decades, trust in government has eroded. If they lied about this, what else did they lie about? The assassination didn't just kill a president, it killed innocence. It taught a generation to question everything, to look for shadows, to suspect that the official story is never the whole story. History hangs in the balance. Was it a solitary act of madness or a calculated strike by powerful forces? Did Lee Harvey Oswald act alone, or was he one piece in a machine too big to comprehend? The files are slowly being released, but key pages remain locked. Even now, we are denied the full picture. The camera stops rolling. Dealey Plaza stands quiet today, a place of memory and mystery. The grass still grows, the streets still carry traffic, but the echoes of gunfire never truly fade. We have facts, reports, theories, and silence. But one question remains unanswered, haunting us still. Was it a lone gunman? Or was it a conspiracy? What do you believe?